All right, everyone. SNAP benefits may soon be ending because of the Schumer shutdown and the temper tantrum that the Democrats are currently holding. Ironically, it's likely that a significant proportion of the population will blame the Trump administration. It'd be easy to pass a clean budget. It would be easy to do that and then, figure out other things separately with regards to healthcare and the other things that the Democrats are basically holding the population over a barrel over. But SNAP is one thing, and I said this the other day. The Trump administration really should be trying to punt this can down the road. Deprive the Democrats of oxygen for their wildfire, so to speak. Be like, hey, to the American people, "Oh, we're trying to shut down your SNAP benefits, but we found the money. It's discretionary spending, and so we decided to continue funding it because it's important to a lot of people." Will there be food riots should SNAP end on November 1st? Yes, I believe that there will be. To what level they reach is an entirely different question. You'll probably see some people smashing through windows and breaking into stores and grabbing whatever they can grab. But that's been happening anyway because of the soft on crime policies of the former administration, so it'll just be an exacerbation of an existing problem, I suppose. You will have people that have, small children and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, my kid can either go without their cereal today, or I can just fucking rob this store. I have sympathy for this situation, actually. This may be an unpopular opinion among some of you, by the way. Law and order begins to break down when these sorts of problems happen. If the government has gotten people addicted to welfare and then takes it away, what the hell do you expect to happen? In this case, though, we've finally got a welfare program that actually more or less pays itself off. It is helpful to people with families, they have kids, they need nutritional assistance. This is the whole point. The Trump administration is already trying to reform it by saying, okay, well, we're no longer going to allow this. We're not going to let you use the SNAP benefits for potato chips and shit like that. You have to buy something healthy. This, by the way, in my opinion, is a very positive thing. Uh, I've been on Snap before for a few months, many years ago, for example. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like not to be able to buy a goddamn hamburger. And Snap is supposed to stand in the gap, pun intended, in order to allow people to buy, something nutritional, something that is healthy for them. So, root vegetable and make a soup or something like that. Not everyone actually has a functional kitchen, by the way. That can be a little bit of a problem. I know that. But as far as food riots go, a lot of people are, sort of amping it up. Oh my God, all of these poor people are going to go fucking insane on November 1st. I don't think that's what you're going to get. I think you're going to have sporadic shoplifting and things like that. The Democrats and the legacy media will immediately pick up on it and say, look, the American people are fed up with the Trump administration. They took their food away. And stupid stuff like that. They'll try to appeal to entitlement, so to speak. Now, do I begrudge people they're working, they're doing everything that they can possibly do, but they just can't fucking make ends meet? Do I begrudge them a little bit of food in order to tide them over? No, of course not. Trust me, I've been dirt poor before. I don't have any hate for them whatsoever. Is the blame going to be properly associated with the people that are actually responsible for the reason why they're not getting those benefits? Unfortunately, on this, I'm much more pessimistic. The legacy media is going to side squarely with the Schumerists and the Schumer shutdown and blame Trump. That's exactly what's going to happen. You can see it coming. Come on. You know exactly what's coming. They're going to say that the Trump administration is evil and mean and that they're trying to keep poor people from being able to eat a carrot. That's exactly what's going to happen. You can see it coming. Because we've seen it before. This sort of strategy also works fairly well You try to identify some party that's not necessarily responsible for the problem, but you associate them with the problem in order to cast the ire on them. Therefore, the anger is directed towards them. This is what the Democrats are trying to do, and this is why I pointed out the other day the best thing that the Trump administration can do is dip into discretionary spending and keep funding SNAP to take that issue off the table. The Democrats eventually will crack if you put enough pressure on them. They're not going to crack once a bunch of poor people start looting stores because there will be no reason for them to do so. Trump already took care of the soldiers and their pay through that $130 million private donation that the Democrats necessarily hated because it takes an issue off the table that they can exploit. Of course they're pissed about it. They wanted the soldiers to go without pay so that hopefully they'd begin protesting or something like that. Or they'd begin quitting en masse. They don't give a shit about the military. They don't give a shit about the poor. They never have. Everything that they do turns to shit, basically. They've been doing this for a number of years. It's quite clear they want to put the screws to people and make things as painful as possible so that they will turn against the current administration, even though the current administration is not even centrally responsible for the shutdown. This is the Schumer shutdown. The Democrats are having a fucking temper tantrum and refusing to pass a budget, even though they could separately consider healthcare options. It doesn't need to be part of the budget omnibus. It's not necessary. It can be considered separately. And then the people, of course, through Congress, supposedly at least on paper, are capable of speaking through them and determining what they want. But that's not the way that things are working. Instead, they've just decided to plant their feet and they refuse to negotiate. Well, then it's your fault. The Trump administration attempted to negotiate with you several times. This is what, number 15 or something like that they've tried to pass the goddamn budget? Get your act together, dudes. That's about all. Peace out.